Welcome to This Is My Architecture. I'm Matt, and today I'm joined by Lisa from New Relic. Thanks for coming, Lisa.
Sure.
So today we're going to talk about how you're using Terraform to deploy your infrastructure. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first tell us a little bit about New Relic. What do you guys do?
Sure. So New Relic is a monitoring company. They've been primarily focused on monitoring application performance management, but have recently got into the infrastructure management.
Okay, and you actually have a product called Infrastructure,
Yes,
is that
we do.
right? And that's what you're using Terraform to deploy?
Yes.
So tell us how that works. Why are you using Terraform in the first place?
Sure. So Terraform is a great open source tool that allows you to create infrastructure with code.
Okay.
So about a year ago, we were a brand new team. We were tasked with, you have to build this new product and you have about a year to do it.
Yeah.
So we had a big time constraint.
To move quickly.
We needed to move quickly, but we're an experienced team. We wanted to make sure we did something that was clean, that was easy to use for new people that were coming on, easy to maintain, easy to audit, and Terraform fit the bill for us.
Great. So yeah, Terraform's great for infrastructure automation. The thing about that though, as we started to automate all the infrastructure, now we live in fear of the typo, of the fat finger. If you have this huge stack in production, you don't want one little flaw to kind of wipe it out. So how do you guys handle that problem?
Absolutely. So what we do is we modularize as much as possible.
Okay, great.
So at the first level, we modularize our environments. Those are in separate directories. And then we have subdirectories within that that houses our Terraform modules. For example, we have our Mesos cluster, Cassandra, Elasticsearch, and so on.
Okay.
Each environment also contains like an environment module, which is it just hosts our hard-coded values as variables, so for reuse throughout the modules.
Okay, so I see you have this thing, basic role in the middle. What's that?
Basic role is a library that we've written. It's also a Terraform module. Basically, it just abstracts some code away, and each one of our Terraform modules uses it.
Okay.
So whenever this is going to be created, it's going to be using what Basic Role has already created for us, which is a launch config, and the associated user data, which is just a script that the instances run at launch time.
Got it.
That's associated with an auto-scaling group, which specifies how many instances need to be running of each cluster at all times.
Got it.
And then it also creates an IAM profile, which makes it really easy for us to attach IAM policies to for when we need to specify those in the individual Terraform modules themselves. But at this level, we're creating policies for things like EC2 describe commands, access to S3, things that all of our resources need.
Great, so IAM is great for sort of the AWS components of access control and authentication. How do you actually handle the deployment access control authentication? If you modularize all this stuff, how do you control which users deploy which pieces? I imagine not everybody has access to every part of the infrastructure.
Our team actually does.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
so our infrastructure team, we're a pretty good sized team, about 10 people. We've got people from infrastructure and operations all the way to UI. I guess our UI people don't have access to it. But everybody else has a hand in maintaining our infrastructure. So we use GitHub Enterprise.
Okay.
All of our code is stored there, including the Terraform state file.
Okay, so you really do have infrastructure as code
We
alongside the code.
absolutely do. Yeah. So the Terraform state file is managed by Terraform. It keeps track of the state of everything that you've had in your Terraform code in AWS. And so when someone needs to make a change, they make a branch, they make the code change, create a pull request. In that pull request, they include the output of Terraform plan, which is basically a dry run to see, here are the code changes, here's what's going to happen. The team has to approve that.
Okay.
Once it's approved, the engineer runs Terraform apply, that actually applies the changes and triggers Terraform to update the state file as well, get the freshest state. And the team also needs to approve that as well. So that's committed, added back to the PR. Once that's approved, then we merge it into master.
And how long does this kind of end-to-end approval process take?
It's not too bad. We're all in the same location for the most part, and we're respectful of each other's time. So, for the most part, we don't usually have urgent fixes, but if we do, we'll just communicate it. But I'd say on average, it's, I don't wait more than a day for my PRs to be approved.
Great, so you can have sort of really quick iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I really like I have that combination of kind of engineers owning both their code and their infrastructure and sort of owning the deployment process, but it's also with these checkpoints so you can make sure that nothing bad happens.
Yeah, it's really easy to, fat finger, make a mistake, and wipe out an entire cluster. So we really try to limit the blast radius and keep our code as loosely coupled as possible. I personally have wiped out our Cassandra cluster before.
I want to do that.
Thankfully, it was only in staging, but because of the ease of Terraform, I destroyed it with one command, but I also brought it back with another command.
You can recover quickly.
Yes.
Very cool. I love the modular approach. I love how you're using Terraform. It's a really interesting architecture. I appreciate you sharing it with us today.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching This Is My Architecture.